Here I am in my little tea station at the St. James Tea Room, ready to show you how to make the perfect pot of tea. Now, I have warm water in this teapot, and I'm warming the teapot so that the hot water won't break the bottom. And I've emptied that, and you can see there's still a little steam coming out. And I'm going to put my tea leaves in my infuser and pour boiling water. So we'll let that steep for a minute, and I'll tell you what I've done. All it takes to make a good pot of tea are three things, really: a teapot, tea, and good water. And you need good water because regular tap water often has minerals in it, which can leave a scum on the top. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. It can change the flavor of the tea. And so use filtered water. Filtered water makes a big difference in the taste of your tea. Use good tea leaves. Use real tea leaves. And the better the tea leaf, the more expensive it is, but it's worth it, I think you'll find, in the flavor. And good tea leaves you can use twice, at least. This pot of tea will make, this little infuser, my tea sock here filled with this much tea, will make this teapot, and the next teapot I make with it will be decaffeinated. The caffeine is the very first thing that dissolves out of tea leaves, and so you can infuse tea leaves for 30 to 60 seconds even and get rid of the caffeine. So you need good tea leaves, you need good water. A pretty teapot is very nice, and you let it steep. Now, this is an infuser that we use. It's rather disreputable looking, but it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. We call it a tea sock. And there's plenty of room in there for the tea leaves to move around, for the water to flow through, and to really get the whole flavor, the full flavor from the tea. So an infuser, a good infuser, is a mighty help in making a fine pot of tea. There are also tea sacks. You can buy little ones like this for an individual, or big ones to make a whole pot of tea. But you just need to have plenty of room for the tea leaves to move around, for the water to move around through the tea leaves. So now we're waiting, and this little timer is kind of nifty. I have a 3-minute, 4-minute, and 5-minute. So if I like my tea very strong, I might want to wait 5 minutes. This is black tea, and black tea needs boiling water. Green tea, you never want to use boiling water. Green and white tea need just below boiling water, 185. And usually that's when it's not bubbling, of course, and the steam isn't rising fiercely. It's just sort of flowing out. So you can let your water boil, take it off the boil, wait a minute, and then pour it over your green tea. Green tea is often steeped too long, and it gets bitter very quickly. Another handy thing to have is a little tasty cup. So I'm going to pour just a tiny bit out. My 3 minutes is up, so I'm going to taste it. I like it a little bit stronger, so we'll steep it another minute or so. Now, the amount of tea that you use, no one can tell you how much tea to use. You have to decide that yourself. So with each new tea that you buy, try a spoonful per cup and a tip for the pot. That's the old British way of saying how much tea to use. That's a good way to start. Often that's too much tea. Often you don't need that much tea. But try it yourself. Your own palate will tell you what is best. So with each tea, try the first time, maybe a little heavy on the tea leaves because it's easier to pour more boiling water in a pot of tea than it is to have too weak. There's nothing you can do. You have to start all over with weak tea. Steeping time, again, it's up to your palate. You keep tasting. This is very handy to have a little tasting cup. And that way, when you remove the leaves, the whole pot is just perfect to your taste. So this is just about right for me. So I'm going to remove the leaves. And you can put this in your refrigerator actually and use it a second time. When you pay for good tea, you might as well get all the use you can out of it. And here I have my perfect cup of tea, and I know the rest of the pot will be just perfect. And I'll keep it warm with the cozy. And there you have your perfect pot of tea. You enjoy it.